Look up team player in the dictionary, and you just might see a picture of Anna Clark.
She's pretty flexible. They move her around a whole bunch.
You name it, she's done it.
This is Corporal Clark, the Cloud was.
Maintenance to laundry, Corporal Anna Clark never passes an opportunity to serve at Clara Waters.
It's definitely an advantage to want to learn a little piece of everything. In community, you definitely do all of it. I've done transports, hospital watches, visitation, kitchen detailing duty.
Last year, Clark and a skeleton crew prepared Christmas dinner for 230 men.
We cooked turkey, dressing, green bean casserole, mac and cheese. It was a lot to do.
Clark joined DOC 3 years ago with principles and purpose.
This is a big part of rebuilding people for when they come back to society, and a lot of the time it's make or break here. And it makes you look at yourself and see how you come in every day. And the more consistent and structured you can be a better CO for these people who are needing to go back to the world.
Clark's allegiance to community corrections and her colleagues is always on display.
Oh, she's very nice. She's very nice and she's always loved to help.
Her dedication, dependability, and professionalism have earned Corporal Clark Correctional Officer of the Year.
I'm really honored. I'm still trying to figure out how to absorb it and take it all in, because I'm not in it for glory. I'm in it because my heart's in it.
There are moments in life that can only be described as pivotal. For Amber Jewett, it was an OU college course taken behind the wire at Mabel Bassett Correctional Center.
For about 2 or 3 hours, we would go to Mabel Bassett, 15 of us from OU and 15 of the offenders that are there, and we would have a class together. Some of these women that we were in class with, their stories were very moving. That's when I knew I wanted to work with this population, because if I can help them have that one person that believed in them, then why not?
Amber Lee has a tough job. She is a probation and parole officer in Tulsa with a caseload of 36 sexual offenders.
Amber Lee does, really well. She handles her offenders professionally, even though they're charged with a very serious offense against public safety.
Public safety is paramount. Amber Lee does regular home visits, supervises everything from treatment programs to fingerprints to polygraphs.
Yep, we kind of do it all. We do. We stay busy up here.
In addition to her mountain of regular assignments,
Let's see.
Jewett volunteered to assist with icon training. She's a SME.
Yeah, subject matter expert, so SME, SME. Right before this interview, that's what I was doing, was sending an email up the chain answering a question about an icon question. So
Amber Lee is an integral part of the specialized unit and a great role model for her department. That, coupled with a positive attitude and a willingness to help her coworkers, made her an obvious choice for P&P Officer of the Year.
just to know that the chain of command and the leadership felt that value in me was monumental. So,
do you love this job?
I do love this job. This is where I see myself. I can't see myself doing anything else.
Don Landers is the very first to acknowledge you are only as good as the people around you.
Teamwork's a huge thing. Department of Corrections is so big, and not one person can do it. You have to be a team to make everything work.
Dawn joined the ODOC team as a correctional officer back in 2005. She knew immediately this wasn't a job, but a calling.
I can do anything I want to do as long as I believe in myself. So just go on further, and then I became the supervisor, and I just love it.
Landers is now probation and parole supervisor for the Southwest District. It is a monumental responsibility keeping her community safe, but she is blessed with a hardworking, trustworthy staff.
And trusting them is a huge thing. If the officers come to me and they need assistance, I'm going to help them.
Her commitment to the team has earned Landers the confidence and respect of her colleagues.
They picked the jackpot when they picked her because she is an awesome supervisor. She will not expect her officers to do anything that she's not willing to do, and she's got your back.
Probably because she's really easy to talk to. She has an open door policy, and not only is she my boss, but we are also friends.
Is there anything in particular you're most proud of?
That's my Certificate of Excellence from the Correctional Officer Award.
Just named P&P Supervisor of the Year, Dawn Landers will soon have more plaques than wall space. But she says the real reward comes from serving the state and helping people get their lives back on the right track.
But you get that one person who calls you when they're done and thank you, or writes you a letter and tells you their success story. That makes a huge difference. Like, I did something to help that person.
The other training officers tower over her.
I've got to swing through that bag.
But don't let Marty Swinney's compact size fool you.
I say I'm 5'2", but I'm probably not really. But I do the same thing that all my guys are doing. They always talk about that, how dynamite comes in small packages.
Is there anybody you can't take down?
No, absolutely not. All the way through.
Swinney is fierce and dedicated to teaching cadets what they need to know to be safe in the field and in the office.
It's probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done, honestly.
Swinney is not only a defensive tactics instructor. In 2021, she became a firearms instructor and a law enforcement driver training instructor. Becoming CLEAT certified in all three skills is extremely rare.
Phase 1 was fine. I get to phase 2. The first time I went through, I honestly failed. And so I was like, heck no, I'm getting this.
This is known as the Triple Crown of law enforcement training. Marty's perseverance, as you can see, paid off.
It's something I always wanted. Even when I first started with probation and parole and I found out about the Triple Crown and how there wasn't females that had that, I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to be the first one.
There are approximately 50 Triple Crown recipients across the state of Oklahoma. What makes this special is that Marty is the first known female.
Being the first female is absolutely amazing.
She has been pushed physically and mentally. Marty Swinney is a model to others. If you put in the work, anything is possible.
Do it. Like, don't just sit there and think my size as a girl and I'm gonna strike through that back versus the big 6'3" guy that can just handle the shotgun. Do it. You can do it, push yourself, and make history.
Mike Rutter is one of the rare individuals who voluntarily comes to prison. He's been offering spiritual guidance to inmates for more than 15 years.
You know, God loves these people just like everybody else.
Mike has been a mentor, instructor, and positive influence to thousands of men at Union City Community Corrections.
You were one of my first volunteers that started here when we opened up Union City, and I really appreciate everything you've done.
Anything to help them transition into a free society, DOC could count on Mike. Leading worship in the gymnasium.
And when we're done, then we hand out cookies.
Teaching life skills.
Write resumes and job interviews.
Assisting returning citizens get a driver's license. Mr. Rutter understands the importance of investing in these men.
If they re-enter society and they're not successful, everybody loses. Their families lose, society loses, taxpayers lose. It's just not a good deal. So we just feel like it's something that we need to do. And I feel called to do it.
When this facility was closed due to COVID protocol,
that is a study Bible, so it has a lot of notes.
Mike continued delivering weekly Bible studies.
And this is why I love this man. We need him. He is an asset to this facility.
One of the many reasons Warden Duncan nominated Mike for Volunteer of the Year.
Could not have went to a more deserving person. Mike Rutter is the ultimate volunteer for the Department of Corrections.
Oh my goodness, congratulations.
Mike Rutter doesn't do this for accolades. It's for the hundreds of men who send him messages of gratitude for investing in their lives.
You know, to make a difference, not only a temporal but an eternal difference in the lives of these men, because we believe if we can change one man, that we can change his entire family tree. And it's been a blessing that is just don't really have the words to describe it.
it's important that we recognize people not only when they go above and beyond, but when they do their regular work, right? I mean, if you work and you do your work in such a way that it draws attention, that's worthy of recognition. But what these folks did is they did their regular work, and in addition to that, they were involved in the icon build. The workflows are right out of probation parole. These are probation parole experts. They work there every day. They work at different levels of probation parole every day. And so through every gap session, through every planning meeting, through every design, through every build, these guys were instrumental in helping us bring ICON for probation parole to life in phase 1. I'd like to recognize these guys so they can in turn turn around and recognize their coworkers, because their coworkers had to pick up some of that slack to allow them to be this heavily involved. So this is not just about the SMEs for probation parole. This is about all of probation parole pulling together and helping us through whatever level of effort they put in to bring ICON to life. This is one place where 400 or 500 people had to do it right. From administrators all the way down to brand new probation parole officers. They all had to pull together. They all had to do more work, extra work, work they weren't comfortable with. And so it takes training and effort and energy to be able to do that right. And so when we talk about a team being able to do it, this certainly is the tippy top of what a team looks like.
Very early on, I started looking at ways that we could present leadership opportunities at varying levels to understand or identify individuals that could potentially go to the next level. And basically, Command College is a class, a leadership class. There were wardens in this class, there were administrative positions in the class, so it was not just limited to a certain set of staff, but again, a diverse group, and allowing them the opportunity to shine with respect to their ability to complete more complicated projects, to work through group assignments. And it was just really meant to start establishing a bench, if you will, who the next leaders of the agency may be. And my expectation is once that group completed that class and graduated in December, is for agency leadership to look at that list of participants that graduated when they are looking for the next applicants for deputy wardens or administrators or chief administrators. This group has shown that they have the ability to get their name out there, get their talent out there, so they can become the next leaders of this agency.
I started in October '01 is when I started, right after, it was my first job after college. I really like my job, helping people realize their potential. Sometimes people don't see themselves the way that you see them, and just reminding them that there's more than what they've got going on right now. And so that's been like my favorite part of this job. And it helps when you like the people you work with. I really enjoy them, that they're the ones that kept me here.
I'm a master firearms instructor for Region 1 Community Corrections.
Stay in it. Don't quit.
20 years, started in 2001. Looking forward out of the window of a car, it went by slow. Looking back, it went by pretty fast. Opportunity to teach and train has been a big key part of why I've stayed with the agency and will continue to stay with the agency. Really enjoyed it. I think it's a valuable job, and the ability to meet new officers and maybe mentor or inspire or be a part of their career path is pretty special.
I started as a correctional officer November 3rd, 1986 at James Crabtree. I stayed there until July of '87, moved to Woodward and became a probation officer. Stayed there until 2004, then I moved to Enid as assistant district supervisor, and that's where I still am. Became a defensive tactics instructor, got involved with training and stuff. Still like helping offenders. Recently we were shorthanded, so I went back to the field and helped a little bit, and kind of helped me remember my passion for helping people.
I started in 1981 at Joseph Hart Correctional Center as an officer. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed working and doing what I was doing and helping the offenders. It was enjoyable.
41 years.
41 years. I never thought it would be that long. I called myself, when I first took this job, My brother-in-law got me into it. He was working for DOC at the time. I call myself passing through. And I've been passing through for 41 years.
I started at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in February of 1977, and I am ending in Oklahoma City, working in probation and parole as the Interstate Compact Administrator for Oklahoma. I felt from the day one that I was an asset to the state of Oklahoma and an asset to the Department of Corrections, and I was proud of that and always have been. And I tell you that this retirement is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but I feel it's time.